Hello, my name is Ashley Bohanon, and today I'm going to give a brief narrative on my chart of accounts, which is an assignment for the Masters of Entrepreneurship program with Western Carolina University in ENT 640. With this chart of accounts that I'm getting ready to give a brief narrative on, I started individually researching some of the line items that are going to help me generate revenue, some of the expenses that will be ongoing monthly expenses, and then some of the startup expenses. So I initially started this assignment by creating a long list of each one of those tabs that I'm going to go into. And it was very long and very thorough. And then I have a lot of people that are associated with home births and people who work in medical clinics as registered nurses and people who help as doulas in birthing. And each week throughout this class, I kind of came to them with questions. So the good thing about this course is it really pushes me to extend and reach out to the people that are in my networking group for this industry. And then I also reached out and met a home birthing professional that lives in a city outside of mine, who I used as my subject matter expert. She has her own home birth Waconia midwifery service that she offers, and she's been in the industry for just over a decade. So she really helped me kind of refine and reframe what I wanted to do with this assignment, because for the duration of this program, I have really thought big, and I want to open a large birthing center that can handle hundreds of births a month, that have OBs that are able to do cesarean sections in the facility, as well as the majority of the staff being mother's helpers, kind of like a doula, RN, LPN, all in one, and then also lots of midwives that are really advocating and help support mothers who want the natural birth. And that's why I really had to it was really great to speak with the subject matter experts that I had in my at my disposal or at my availability, and kind of reframe it for this specific assignment for this chart of accounts. And so what I'm getting prepared to show you is kind of a interim. So if instead of being just a single-handed midwife who's doing their own business by themselves or with just a few partners, and then the other flip side of that being the large medical center that costs millions of dollars to start, that's certainly going to require some type of investment, probably from venture capitalists and other partners as well, to start. I've arrived at the medium of those two spectrums. So here we have is Merida's Home Birth. And what this home birth center will do, it's a small medical center that is going to cater to the average client will just be a pregnant woman. So we'll do a pre-booking consultation, all the prenatal checkups, ultrasounds and lab work associated with that birth, the actual birth, and then the postnatal exams. And then additionally, instead of offering an array of services such as the large-scale dream of opening the large birthing center, we will only offer well-women exams as well. And so this would be kind of the interim to get going, to prove that there's a market for this concept and to get some of the buy-in from venture capitalists. All right, without further ado, I'm going to jump right into our revenue generators per unit. So with this one, initially, when I started, I had over 15 ideas of different revenue generating options for the business. And after speaking to Miss Cameron, I really decided to kind of scale back and scale down and specialize to get the buy-in and to get the positive brand association with this Merida's Home Birth Center. And so we're only going to have births, which includes in this price the postnatal and prenatal exams, well women exams, and then also urgent care appointments for really anything to do with associated with women's reproductive health. So as you see with births, it would be $5,500 per birth, and with the individual amount is there, and then down below with the expected 50 births per month to start, and then hoping to grow that to 75 births. And once we're really handling 75 births per month, and we've been doing that consistently for a few months, it would be great to start really seeking that venture capitalist in that large scale operation. And so with that 30 births per month at $5,500 per birth, you get the monthly amount of $165,000. And moving on to the Well Women exams, at 10 exams per month, at $175 per visit, which is really very low, and we're hoping that this will draw in the population of women who would be interested in possibly having birth sometime in the future and giving that buy-in. So at 10 per month initially, and it would probably be limiting to 10 to 15 per month, just because the midwives who are attending births are also the midwives who are going to have the ability to give Well Women exams. And so that at $175 per visit ends up being $1,750 per month. And then the urgent care appointments, expecting to have, around the first 3 months, 6 exams per month. And then additional costs could certainly be added after the rendering of services based on what's required, since we can't say what the urgent care appointment would be. It's $275 per visit, and that with 6 times exams a month is $1,650. And so the expected income initially after the first 3 months a month would be $168,400. Now, a note with these numbers, after speaking with Cameron, my SME that I did my subject matter expert interviewing with, additionally, after speaking to a practicing midwife, same here locally, that does the same service as Cameron, really those Well Women exams should be much more expensive, and they didn't think that would be worth the squeeze, if you would. The juice would be worth the squeeze on that. But I am going to leave it in here, and after speaking with them, I want to ponder more on it, but for this assignment, I am going to leave it in there at that price to really hope to help drive the women who are interested in our center to come in. But it will be a very limited amount that we could take in. So that could have the potential to backfire if there's a lot of people who aren't able to make it in to see our midwives because they just don't have the time to do Well Women exams. But I do feel like it will help draw in and learn the brand and learn the company and get some trust with having that low cost Well Women exams, almost like a community service offering. Excellent. So moving on to ongoing expenses. Again, when I first started this initial researching on my own, I had about 25 different ongoing expenses. And after speaking with a friend of mine who works as an RN in a local OB center here on Post, actually, I came down to really focus and drive in the required kind of bare necessities. And so I was also, by limiting and kind of specializing the scope of what I'm talking about here and the line items I have listed, I was able to spend the extra time speaking with lawyers and speaking with insurance agencies, as well as speaking with a previous subject matter expert that I had in a different class with marketing. So jumping right along, we have insurance. It's estimated to be around $395 a month. That price could go up depending on the volume of people that we have, clients that we have per month, which could potentially increase our cap of what we would be insured with. And so I got a professional liability quote with USAA, which is the insurance that I have personally as well. And then just the supplies, one of the same midwives that I see locally on a weekly basis, who has her own business, she advised me to, even though I don't have this business up and running yet, to do a healthcare account with Amazon and kind of a healthcare business account and get a feel for what the supplies are, how to order them, and what the prices are. And so at the previous tab, I mentioned 30 births to start and 10 Well Women exams. So this $200 is expected to increase, but this would help maintain the adequate supplies after that initial buy-in. And the price could certainly increase as demand is increasing as well. So then I had a chance to speak again with Adriana with Aiden James Advertising, and they're here local. They were my previous course's subject matter expert. I met with the founder of that company. Really great people, and have kind of a visionary experience in the community here, kind of revamping what marketing is for El Paso in the downtown district. And so talking to them about doing an initial push of advertising and web development, and then kind of what it would be costing to do like a maintenance on marketing. So it's around $200 a month is what they said would be initial, but of course that is a case-by-case basis, month-by-month basis on what I would actually require. Moving along, I have continuing education at $6, and I have this through the American Midwifery Association, and it's a certification program you get to maintain your competency, and so it seems pretty economical, and additionally it would give maybe a peace of mind for the midwives that we support the research of updated techniques and maintaining the proficiency in the field. Next, I spoke with a lawyer that I work with, not in the same field, but he really expressed and emphasized the importance of maintaining a good relationship with a lawyer on kind of a retaining basis. And so I did contact this Litchter lawyer law office in El Paso, and although I didn't have an official consultation with them, I did get to speak with a receptionist there who kind of explained what initial fees would be, and then directed me to their website. So I did do some research on their website and came up with around $350 a month. And that $350 a month isn't any service specifically, but it's with the annual expected services. Moving on to rent, I did have a very good location that I was able to find if I were ready to start this today, and did go through and look at, it's a medical facility that is already set up for a medical facility, and it is around $4,800 a month with additional costs that could come forward, and expected utilities around $600 a month. And then moving in the middle here, salaries. Its expected a month cost is $33,833, and that's at 5 women's mothers' hands. That would be comprising of CPAs, LPNs, and 1 RN. Around 50, not RNs, excuse me, LPNs and CNAs around $25,000. 2 midwives starting at $67,000. 1 certified nurse midwife who has more experience at $75,000. She would kind of be the head of the department there. $12,000 a year helper, administrative office helper, and then for myself $60,000 as the CEO. And that totals a month $40,384. So moving along to the initial startup expenses, licensing, I did find through the IRS and through Texas, it would be about $425 to start up both of the licensures requirements. I'm expecting between phones and laptops and automation equipment that I was able to talk to with T-Mobile. I already have a business account with T-Mobile for some side business that I run with makeup and spa supplies, and so it would probably be around a $6,900 cost for the actual equipment and the services. And then with the marketing team, I kind of already alluded to that. I spoke with the Aiden James marketing agency, and they gave me a quote of like the initial push just under $2,000, and then monthly around $200 thereafter. And then the lawyer fees, again, I spoke to it, expecting around $4,000 to $5,000 a year. So I put $4,200 based on some research, and broke it down per month, and here it's shown per year. And then same with the insurance. I went with USAA, who is already my insurance provider, and got a quote on around what it would be to have a professional liability. But as note, I did say the cap is pretty low and the deductibles are very high, so this I could think if it was going to be used right now would be a little bit higher. And then the building initial cost would be $11,800 to start up, to rent that medical building that I discussed in the previous tab. And that's the initial one, and then thereafter would be the 4,800. And then equipment, after speaking with the subject matter expert that I interviewed, Cameron, I did go forth and write out, and you can see just the tab C, some of the basic supplies, blood sugar equipments, IV equipments, the birth kit, the birthing tub kit, that would cost around $6,675. And so the total startup cost would be equal almost to the monthly cost, which is $32,295. And I really learned so much during this experience. I loved that I met so many great subject matter experts, and I'm really thankful for this experience to be able to create this chart of accounts. So I hope that you learned a lot from it, and thank you so much for your time.